I'd like to speak to the bill.
Gentleman has the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think there's going to be probably a good bit of discussion on this bill. I know that there was in the Senate, and for good reason. I think it's extremely important that when we talk about Virginia's unemployment compensation system, that we recognize how that system is constructed, because if we don't know that, we cannot put the governor's amendments in its proper context. First of all, the Virginia unemployment system is an employer-funded insurance program for those employees who lose their job through no fault of their own. And it is state administered, and the state's primary role is to determine who receives benefits, who does not, and all of us collectively have a responsibility over the solvency of the trust fund. When monies go down in the trust fund below solvency, unemployment taxes have to go up in order to make sure that the trust fund remains solvent. It's sort of like a three-legged stool. There's the interest and needs of the employers. There's the needs of the employees, trying to make them as whole as possible, give them some assistance, a bridge so they can, while they're trying to find a job. And then finally the care and feeding the trust fund so that the monies will be there when they're needed. It's important to also understand sort of where we are in all of this. We have unemployment rates like we have not seen, at least not in my lifetime, in Virginia. Our most recent estimates from the Employment Commission, which were based in the fourth quarter of last year, was that Virginia's unemployment trust fund, the trust fund, would basically be insolvent by the fourth quarter. That as of January, now that's January, we know things have gotten worse. Unemployment has gone up. In January, there was $21 million a week going out of the trust fund to pay for benefits. I feel like we're doing our part. Earlier today, we accepted a set of amendments to a bill that I was the patron on and that we all supported that provided up to 60-plus weeks of benefits, 60-plus weeks of payments. The normal is 26. We were already in a 20-week additional period. We've added another 13 to 20 to that. We absolutely positively are not in any way unaware of the situation, the challenges that Virginia workers, Virginia employees are facing. I have several friends who are unemployed, white-collar workers and blue-collar workers. They're having a heck of a hard time finding a job. And what I do not believe that unemployment insurance should be about, and which I think is the crust of this debate, is twofold. Again, this is an insurance program designed to provide benefits to someone on a temporary basis who's lost their job through no fault of their own. They didn't walk in the door and quit. They weren't fired. They just lost their job because of a lack of business from that particular employer. I don't believe that unemployment insurance should be turned into something of an entitlement program. I don't think it should be turned into a work program per se. I know this doesn't quite do that, but it attempts to do some of those things. Those are exactly the kinds of things, or the discipline that we've had in Virginia, that has allowed our unemployment insurance program to be one of the most efficiently run and one of the least cost in properly achieving that balance between the needs of employers and employees. It's one of the cornerstones of why Virginia is consistently ranked a great place to do business and a great place to live. Now, I don't know why we would want to take turn Virginia and adopt the same policies that our brothers and sisters have to the north, states like Michigan. Why would we want to turn Virginia into a Michigan where they have huge unemployment, problems they cannot solve? Michigan's unemployment system is broke. They've had to borrow $1.3 billion. At the end of this year, whether we pass this bill or not, no matter what we do, we're going to have to borrow money just to keep our trust fund solvent, even with our current situation.
Mr. Speaker.